Oh, yeah, it's Nintendo time. It's been a while. We're gonna start doing more Nintendo content over here. I'm sorry for y'all that hasn't been seeing that, but you know how crazy it's been on the other side. So we got a lot to talk about here. Yes. One, Nintendo was #1 in August, as we knew it was going to happen. Two, they sold 2.4 million units in 3 months in the US market only. This is August, by the way. We do not have September. And they're 5% ahead of the PlayStation 4 time aligned. So they're beating Sony head to head, if you get what I mean in that sort of sense. 77% ahead of the Switch. Because remember, it undershipped it when it went in the US. And Nintendo had that Wii U fear, and they didn't know that was going to happen. So right now, historically in Japan and in US, Switch is still the fastest selling console of all time. After all that negativity and all that grift, you still did not stop it. It's still ahead of the PS4. Now, the only thing that I could say that can be ridiculous about Nintendo sometimes is the stuff that I saw on Reddit yesterday when I'm like, you could have just punished them a different way. You know what I mean? You don't have to like go that far, but man, they've been like that, man. I saw Alex's video. I get it. And I agree with him on some of those things because it's like that company can be a bit extreme on some of that stuff. But, you know, getting back to this though, just to put that out, I understand it can be a bit extreme, even though there's some things I don't agree with, but I get it. He says, oh no, it's flopping. Some idiot. Nintendo frothing at the mouth. I say, wait, is that guy that went on that negative spree or something? I think I heard something about that. I don't know. I don't check out a whole bunch of Nintendo content like that. But I've heard some things about that guy. But we got some numbers to get into, right? We got to get into, no, that's a different thing. We got to get into Circana over here because there's a lot of people that were saying things that don't know what they're talking about. Are we ready? Because this is going to be an interesting one. PlayStation players, stick around. Xbox gamers, stick around. PC gamers. All right. Yes, view. Okay. Why are they, you know what? I'm going to reset it then. All right, Circana US sales August 2025. So Nintendo Switch is #1, 2K26 #1, Madden. Let's go down and see things here. August 2025 US video game market highlights. Thread from Circana, NBA, 2K26, mobile, and Switch 2 drove 11% spending growth in August compared to a year ago, helping lift total projected spending. How is it when supposedly consoles are getting weaker, right? The spending went up to 4.7 billion because that's how powerful Nintendo is. That's how much they help. Like I said, they're going to grow the whole industry. So these are stats here. We're not arguing against that. Video game hardware we see here, video game content, video game accessories, and we're having a growth in this aspect. As he said, 2K, mobile, and Switch 2. US video game market August spending. The release of 2K26 in August tracking month as compared to September has a 6% increase. And the continued strong Nintendo Switch 2 launch, what happened with that third-party support? Fueled August growth. What's going on? This is just the beginning, right? Because they tried to grift at the beginning and make it seem like they're not doing good on third parties. Like, would their console really be a console that you rush to for third-party support when specs are better elsewhere else? And, you know, it's like, yeah, the handheld community too, where it's like, you're getting a massive upgrade there. There's people that are only in the handheld world that are never going to go anywhere else in Nintendo world, and you can't touch them. You see, because they have a unique community like that. So they like those handheld upgrades. It's just understanding more of the gaming community and understanding like how it could help and how things actually work here, rather than seeing it in a skewed one-dimensional negative point of view. We have to highlight the positives and the negatives. So we see here filled by Switch 2 launch. Projected US total market spend monthly trend. August 20th, as we see here, it's kind of like getting some growth here. Okay, so August 2025, top best-selling premium games. Now, guys, there's something I want to tell you about this. When it comes to this, remember, Nintendo does not give digital, so we can't get their full numbers, and we know everything's digital now. So Donkey Kong does not have digital copies, or I believe Donkey Kong would be somewhere right here. These two are multi-platform, so maybe, but most of its sales are there. It's #1 on the eShop for months since it came out. Now I want to tell you what I mean. Right here where it says digital sales are not included for marked titles. Digital sales on Nintendo platforms not included. They just don't include digital sales. A funny company. I don't know why they don't do that. But that's Nintendo. You know what I mean? That's what they do. And I'm just like, I just give the numbers, man, but they don't. So we see third-party games, Metal Gear, EA. These are all third-party. Gears of War Reloaded. did good on PlayStation. That's how you know something else. Because I'm like, no, this doesn't have any digital. Otherwise, this, I'm telling you, it'll be right there. So we take a look at things, right? This is the type of stuff I don't like. This is what I mean by like, I like Nintendo coming in and putting more of their first party games in there and at least sharing their digitals, because you're going to see the same stuff every year. GTA, Madden, WWE 2K, Red Dead, Madden, 2K. You see what I mean? EA Sports, EA this, Call of Duty. Like, it's a zombie cycle to me that I want to be more creative. I want to see other IPs there. And then the free-to-play garbage to the side. It's like, oh, I hate this stuff, man. So seeing Donkey Kong come in there, we know how unique that is. That is a treat. You see? That's why Nintendo is important. Otherwise, you're just going to have the same thing over and over again, dominating. And their in-houses are not dominating. 2025 year-to-date, 20 best-selling games, right? Monster Hunter Wilds, EA, Elder Scrolls 4, Black Ops 6, 2K26. You see? Elden Ring. Now, these are all those games I'm telling you about again. So let's go down. Hardware. Monthly hardware spending increased by 32%. Even as bad as Microsoft went down, look how much Nintendo still carries that and lifts it up. But I have people saying console gaming is dying. What are you talking about? No, it's not. No, only Xbox died. That's it. Don't try to make it seem like console gaming is terrible because one platform got out. Sega went out too, and console still went up and went to the highest ever. Remember that? When they had a 256 million install base plus the 360 sales and the PS3 sales? Just because another platform leaves does not mean that console gaming is somehow in trouble. No. They weren't helping a whole lot really anyways. So that can just make up by putting the stuff on PC and getting stuff there. But console gaming is still healthy. But it is the worst, most anti-greed behavior I've ever seen when it comes to jacking up prices, though. And it's insane that you're still seeing this growth with that. Imagine if they were making it more entry. This will be higher. That's the crazy part. You know, it's like I said before, do you want to sell 1 million copies at $70 or $80 and make 80 million? Or do you want to sell 5 million copies at 60 and make 300 million? Or 5 million copies at 50 and make 250 million? You see what I mean? You're making more money and you have more people. Greed makes people stupid. Going down now, so monthly hardware increased by 32% when compared to a year ago to 312 million. Nintendo Switch 2 sales were able to offset double-digit percentage declines across the PlayStation, the Series, and the Switch. Carried. What I tell you, what Nintendo's gonna do. See, I didn't tell you anything that was a lie. I just know, you know what I mean? Because it's like, I know what's gonna happen. And they're gonna keep on doing more amazing stuff. And, you know, they'll have their anti-consumer little sprees, and you know how Nintendo is, man. Take you to court, get never lose in court, and do all that stuff where it's like, hardware with 2.4 million units sold, LTD over the first 3 months market. Nintendo Switch 2 is now 5% ahead of the previous record-setting pace on PlayStation 4. And that goes 3 months ending back in January. That was at 2.2. And I'm telling you right now, in the holidays, Nintendo's about to smoke them. It's about to get Pokemon Legends bundle, Metroid Prime 4, Kirby Star Allies. I'm not Kirby Star Allies, sorry. Kirby Air Riders. You know what I mean? They got heat coming. Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. 4 first-party games and bundles. Watch them sell millions in the holidays. Okay, so you want that for gaming, though. It's going to grow. Hardware, Nintendo Switch 2 units sales are trending 77% ahead internally from their last console. But the Switch took off, though, after that, though. We can see stuff change in the long term. Right now, it could seem like that, but, you know, that's like me saying, it'll sell like that. Well, that's like me saying that it's going to pass up 155 million sales, probably like 170 million. Yeah, no, I'm not going to say that. Over 100 million? Yeah, I could say that. Hardware year-to-date video game hardware spending has grown 20% versus a year ago, reaching 2.9 billion. Hardware year-to-date spending has grown. Unit sales are up 6.5% year on year with Microsoft X. You wanna know why? Because Nintendo. With the average selling price increasing by 12.3% to 453 per unit sold. They're increasing the market growth. They're raising up the console industry. And of course, you got that other stuff too, but that's just duality. But for the most part, we're seeing health here at big time. Content, August video game content spending increased 11% when compared to a year ago to 4.2 billion. The growth was partially driven by a 21% jump in console content spending, aided by the shift of 2K26 to the August tracking period from September a year ago. Content year-to-date spending on non-mobile video game subscription services is now 19% higher than a year ago. 3.6 billion. August 2025. I wonder how that's going to change, though. Good Lord, after everything, if you get what I mean. Oh, these are just straight up, you know, what's happening on each of these little platforms, but we got the idea up there. So accessories is the only thing that went down, which dipped, which kind of makes sense. But the Switch 2 Pro controller was the best-selling accessories in units and dollars. Yeah, that controller is amazing, and it doesn't break every 6 months. All that other garbage they post. So there we have it, guys. I mean, we get the idea here. Nintendo third-party growth and support is only going to get better. I cannot wait to see the September results. They're going to be pretty good. So let me know what you guys think about this. Once again, they don't share their digital. I wish they would share their digital, but we get an idea here. They're breaking records. They're still doing good. Yes, there's some ridiculous behavior to the side. We're saying that. But all in all, there's more positive than negative, depending on how you want to look at it. Because if we talk about all across the industry and the generation, no. Most ridiculous. But that's not Nintendo giving you broken Unreal Engine 5. All that. No, they ain't doing that. That's that over there in that generation. That's what I'm saying. They don't got nothing to do with them. That's over there. Later. Nintendo's winning.